Imagine lying awake at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling and feeling your heart race. Every possible financial crisis flashes through your mind. Your car breaking down, your laptop dying right before an important deadline, a sudden job loss, maybe your pet needing expensive emergency surgery you just can't afford. Doesn't this sound way too familiar? So many people assume financial milestones are just random numbers that rich folks toss around to make everyone else feel behind. But honestly, there's real science and math behind how certain amounts of money completely change your life. The big turning point isn't $1 million or even $100,000. Honestly, things start to shift at $10,000, but the magic hits full strength once you reach $20,000. Let's dig into how and why this number changes almost everything. Before we get into the nuts and bolts of why 20 grand is such a game changer, go ahead and join our community. Hit subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and stick around if you want real talk about wealth building instead of just wishful thinking. Welcome to Macro Money Explained, where we help you see money in a whole new way. All right, here's the real problem. If you don't have some sort of financial cushion, every day feels like a scrappy survival game. You know the feeling, standing in the grocery store, staring at the cereal aisle, debating if you can afford the name brand or if you should go with the generic stuff that tastes like cardboard. Or when your friends want to grab dinner and you're inventing clever reasons not to go because spending $25 would ruin your budget. That's what living paycheck to paycheck looks like. Every dollar spent becomes a careful calculation, and every unexpected expense feels like impending doom. You're constantly playing defense, never offense. This eats up tons of mental energy. Psychologists call it a scarcity mindset. When your brain is so stuck on survival, it can't even think about growth or opportunity. Honestly, I spend way too much time obsessing over money and how people relate to it. I'm fascinated by why some folks glide through money troubles while others stress every time they check their bank account. I've looked at piles of data and interviews from people who actually manage to build their wealth. I want to break down how each milestone changes your thinking so you can go from a place of fear to a place of power. Here's the big reality. Wealth building doesn't work the way most people expect. There are invisible thresholds, and once you cross them, the whole game flips. Research from Vanguard shows that just $2,000 in emergency savings boosts your financial well-being by 21%. It's a small buffer, but makes a huge difference, lifting you out of straight-up survival mode. Push your savings to cover 3 to 6 months of living expenses, usually around $20,000, and you get another 13% boost. But more importantly, now you're breathing easier. Your brain stops obsessing over disasters and actually starts thinking about building wealth instead of just preserving it. Now, picture your finances as a massive stone you're trying to roll uphill. The start is brutal. You're sweating, you barely make progress, and you wonder if you'll ever get anywhere. But $20,000 is the point where that stone finally crests the hill. Everything before that feels like hard uphill slogging. Suddenly, gravity flips, momentum is yours, and every bit of effort gets results. The toughest part isn't really the money, it's changing your identity. Most people treat saving like a crash diet, cut everything to the bone for a few months, then burn out and go right back to old habits. People who hit $20,000 don't see it as temporary. They reinvent themselves as savers. This shift matters. You start noticing ways to cut costs you never saw before, get creative about extra income, and think long-term instead of just chasing short-term satisfaction. You prove to yourself you can hit big goals, and that sets you up for even bigger wins. Let's get into some numbers. Say you save $1,000 every month, and your investments earn 8% a year. It takes about 19 months of steady saving and discipline to reach your first $20,000. That's tough, and a lot of folks bail before hitting their target. But the next 20,000, you can do it in 17 months, 2 months faster, simply because your money is working for you now. Compound interest starts to snowball. When you get to numbers like 400,000, it takes just 5 months to make another 20,000, money that once took nearly 2 years. At this point, your investments are doing most of the work. Hitting this milestone actually changes your brain chemistry. Neuroscientists discovered that having financial security lowers your cortisol, the hormone that drives stress. $20,000 isn't just about your bank account. It rewires how your body handles challenges. That annoying check engine light, when you have no savings, it feels apocalyptic. With 20 grand in the bank, it's just irritating, and you get it fixed. That tiny switch from panic to mild annoyance affects everything. You sleep better, work more efficiently, and gain what experts call walk-away money, freedom from toxic jobs, because you know you can survive a while without a paycheck. Having that confidence can get you better offers because you're not desperate. Having $20,000 totally changes how you look at big purchases, like cars. The average person drops more cash on their car over a lifetime than it would take to reach total financial independence. Most folks spend $600 to $800 a month on transportation, then complain they can't save. A $30,000 car isn't just 30,000 bucks. It's money that could grow to over 200 grand invested for 20 years. If you have a solid foundation, driving a reliable used car becomes a smart move, not a necessity. That fancy car payment doesn't make you rich, it actually keeps you poor. Here's what the best savers do. They start tiny. Maybe 50 bucks a month, even just 25. Doesn't matter. Consistency wins, not the starting amount. Build the habit first, then nudge it up as you earn more. Stop obsessing over the price of coffee. Focus on the stuff that really moves the needle: housing, career, investments. Shifting a third of your convenience spending into savings can get you to $10,000 in under 3 years. Use automation so your savings happen quietly, out of sight. $20,000 won't turn you into a millionaire overnight, but it absolutely shifts how you see money and opportunity. It's the difference between just scraping by and starting to thrive, between reacting to life and shaping it. The person you become while saving this much is worth way more than the cash itself. Holding on to your money is a bigger skill than simply earning it. Stick with your plan and keep pushing. Your future self will thank you. If this deep dive helped you see money in a new way, share it with a friend who's struggling with financial stress. Subscribe to Macro Money Explained so we can keep learning together every week. Tell us in the comments what your life will look like once you hit that $20,000 milestone. Let's build up a community of people who support each other every step of the way. Thanks for watching. See you next time.